The 76ers will move up to the top spot and are expected to draft Washington point guard Markelle Fultz, while the Celtics get the 3rd overall pick in this draft and a future first-round pick for trading back 2 spots. So Monday, at a press conference, the president and GM of the Sixers, Brian Colangelo, explained the thinking behind the deal.
This was the right move for our organization at this time. Been talking a lot about what we have in place, the assets that have been stockpiled to some degree. I felt like it was the right time to move forward and apply some of those assets to a transaction that would basically allow this type of thing to happen. And the good news is we still have a plethora of other assets that continue to be available for us and to us as we continue to look at building this team into a championship organization.
Well, they were already exciting to watch with Joel Embiid, and probably going to be more exciting to watch this upcoming year. And Joel Embiid tweeted after Markelle's workout with the Sixers on Saturday and before this trade became official, saying this should be legendary if it happens. And, of course, the process. So this is Fultz working out. Czar, talk to me about strengths and weaknesses for Markelle Fultz.
This is a complete player. He's got good size. He's 6'4". He can handle. He can pass. He can play pick-and-roll basketball, which is so essential to the NBA game right now. He has a 6'10" wingspan, which should help him at the defensive end of the floor, where he is a pretty good defender. He has range on his shot. This guy fills up the stat sheets in a lot of different areas, so you're getting a really good player.
Any concerns, Czar?
Well, your concerns are that depending now where he winds up, if it happens to be Philly, you're going into a very young team, the core, the young group of guys that they want to move forward with. Can he lead that group? Because he comes off of playing for a team in college where they were just 9 and 22. You know what I haven't heard recently is anybody talking about the fact that he did miss 6 games with some knee problems during the course of the season. But it seems like that's just vanished. I haven't heard any talk about that now.
So maybe no news is no news on that front. But let's dive in, Stu and Ron, in terms of Fultz in the fit with Philly. Do you like it or not?
Well, I like the fit with Philly from a talent standpoint. They're getting, at least in my mind, the most talented long-range prospect in the draft. What I don't necessarily like is the fit for Markelle Fultz with the Sixers, because he's going to a team, as Coach mentioned, that's very young. If you had to earmark where he needs his areas of improvement, it would be at the defensive end. It would be in the area of just increasing his motor. I think Fultz would have been better served going to a place like the Boston Celtics, where they have an established 53-win team with veterans where they've won, where he would have had to earn the right to get on the playing floor at, based upon how well he defended. It's not going to happen in Philly. He's going to be in a situation where immediately expectations are high. He's going to be expected to play and produce. And just as a team in Philly, they've got a bunch of young, talented players, but that doesn't always equal into collective maturity.
See, I'm going to take a different approach than Coach. I don't think you get better by not playing. You get better by being on the floor, making mistakes, understanding how to recover from mistakes once you get put in those situations. And I think it could be detrimental if you went to a bad team that was poorly coached. The 76ers are a very, very well-coached ball club. They're a team on the rise. And I think that coaching staff will not let things go awry as they potentially can when you struggle at times in this league. Are there things that he needs to improve on? Yes. Does he need to get better on the defensive end? Yes. Most of the guys that we look at that we've been talking about need to get better on the defensive end when you come to the league. I think offensively, he's going to have to learn. He's almost James Harden-esque in terms of his ability to score the ball, puts him in a situation where he sets other people up, whereas a lot of guys with the ball are true point guards, set people up, and then they look to score. But because of his ability to score, and once he's able to be coached, I think he'll understand tempo, timing, pace, when it's time to get Stu a shot, when it's time to get Coach Fratello a shot. Those are things that happen with time, but I like to pick because I think he'll have a chance to be on the floor.
If Markelle Fultz is the first overall pick to the 76ers, and if Ben Simmons is healthy to play next year, they will both be rookies at the same time. They will both have a chance to win Rookie of the Year. Czar, What challenges will Brett Brown have, the head coach of the Sixers, in terms of managing who has the ball, who's the distributor, who's catching and shooting, and how do you see that working with Simmons and Fultz?
Brett Brown right now is sitting with his staff as we're speaking, and they're trying to figure out how do we play at the offensive end of the floor and how good can we be at the defensive end of the floor. One thing I know is he figured out, if I throw the ball to that big guy named Embiid, we're going to be okay.
Good things that happen.
If he's there for 82 games, we're going to be okay.
So that was the projected starting five for the young and talented Philadelphia 76ers.